Welcome to the Good Ride. I'm James Beastie. This is the Remind Solution liner you can buy aftermarket that offers a much higher end intuition foam liner that a lot of riders might appreciate, but it comes at a high price and it requires heat molding. But let's face it, most boots need that already. It also doesn't come in half sizes, but this one did come with an insole, the Remedy. And by the way, this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer, and I can do that thanks to our sponsor, Blower Board Shop, that's been selling to snowboarders longer than most resorts, have been allowing snowboarders on the hill, and they have a strong online presence. So if you want to support honest, objective content like you see here, click through our links to Blower Board Shop and spend your hard-earned cash there. We'd both greatly appreciate it. Now, I tested these liners in two different boots, my Battalion Acid Boa, which are changing a little bit next year, but it was good enough for the test, and my Nitro Team TLS. The Battalion Acid Boa is like in between a 9 and a 9.5 in terms of fit, probably like 9 1/4. So these 9 to 9.5 liners fit really well inside here. They felt a little tight in here, and after a heat mold, they did a lot better. But one thing with both of these liners, you have this harness here. Neither of these have a harness on the liner. The harnesses are internal and attached to the shell. So you have this and the shell's harness. So it makes it a little busy in there. I thought it wasn't going to work very well, but it does. And I have tried Intuition foam liner insoles in the past. I didn't do reviews because the sizing was really weird. I got a 9, but it was so much bigger. It felt more like a 10. So I ended up getting an 8. And that fit, where these fit a little more true to size. But I don't like that they are 9 to 9.5, 10 to 10.5, etc. I felt the fit was better with the factory liners versus these Remind. Now here's what I liked about them though. I felt like I had more response and more support. Now both of these boots have excellent flex retention, so I really didn't feel a lot of flex and response degradation over the season that I rode these Nitro Team TLSs. And same thing goes with the Battalion Acid Boa, which I rode a lot last season. But I will say, this improved the response because it's a much more responsive liner than both these liners here. It's more responsive than most of the liners you'll get with any boot out there. I like whatever this is to increase the flex retention throughout the boot. This thicker foam and this Velcro on the top versus no Velcro with my Cloud 9 liner from Nitro, I thought really increased the response. And a lot of liners have this soft closed cell foam on the bottom, but my Cloud 9s didn't. These did though, and this is a little denser than this foam right here. Now let's talk about the insole that came with it. I think this isn't bad, but here's what's interesting. I found that this aftermarket insole, the Remedy here, was only marginally better in some ways than the stock insole I got from Nitro that has just this cush, soft, thicker material. It really integrates well with this boot and allows this airbag to do its job and give you a lot of shock absorption. What I felt with this is I had better support. And yes, they talk about really locking in the heel area there. So all your skin and everything is under your foot and it gives you better shock absorption. They also have a very cush, soft top pad. And then down here, it's a little softer too. But this plasticky thing here and maybe something else inside felt like it created a hard layer between this top part, and then it felt like it separated the boot from this airbag here. And while I think you could argue it either way for this to have more shock absorption or this to have more shock absorption, I like the feel of the stock insert or putting in something like my King Foam Orthotic Elite insole with a soft, cushy material throughout, and I felt like it integrated with the airbag on my Team TLS much better than this. So I think it really comes down to what foot you have and what insole you like as a rider. You might like this better. I personally liked the factory and my King Foam Orthotic Elite from Footprint Insoles a little better because I felt like they integrated with the boot a little better. And the same goes with the Battalion Acid Boa and this shock absorption here. So overall, I think this is a really cool idea, but it needs two things. One, it needs 1-to-1 sizing, so it comes in a 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, etc. Two, it needs to come in a Velcro option so it can work better with boots that have internal harnesses fixed to the shell. I love seeing these aftermarket liners. It was really fun to try. Davey's gonna give his take as well, but I think if you have an older boot, the liners beat, or the response just isn't where you want it, or you want a really heat moldable, customizable liner that's better than what you have. And if you don't have an internal harness in your boot shell, these are gonna be amazing. And if it comes with this, great, but I would like it even if it doesn't come with an insole so you can choose your own. And there you have it.
How we doing, everybody? Davey Boy here, talking about Remind boot liners. This is Beastie's pair. I left mine at home, but we got these as an example in the studio. They might look like some boxing boots, but they're not. They are liners for your snowboard boots, as I'm sure you already guessed. These things are solid. I really like this grid pattern fleece on the inside. It's soft, but it also grips a sock well, keeps your feet locked in there, minimizes heel lift. I last year had a pair of boots that were giving me issues. The J-bar was just hugging my Achilles right under the ball of my ankle joint, and it was making them really sore. I heat molded and popped in a pair of these puppies, changed the game, saved that pair of boots for me. These are high quality liners. They feel great when you heat mold. They are just as responsive in the boot as the liners that are gonna come in any boot that you get. They might even be a little bit more responsive because they could be a little thicker than a thin liner that you might get out the box. And if it fills it in just a little more, it could just snug in that toe bed just enough to really get that last little bit of response under toe that you've been looking for. But yeah, solid boot liners, got no complaints with these things. They saved the season last year. If you got a pair of boots that you're starting to pack out, the flex on the exoskeleton is still there, but you've broken in the liners, you might have pulled some foam out in a place, you gotta duct tape it back up or something, and you don't wanna get a whole new pair of boots, but you wanna make the boots feel almost good as new again, grab these puppies. They're affordable, and they are a lot more affordable than buying a new pair of boots.